Well, here he comes. This will be the last time the cabby's under diesel power, fresh from Yorkshire.
What's on?
Is that the last time she'll be under diesel power?
That's it. If you want to go out in it.
Okay, now. Well, what is this project called?
It's just called taking engines out of one thing, put it into another.
So Sam's driven down in his NAD estate. The 16 valve cabby is already here. This is the one from the Euro trip a few years ago. And you'll notice there's a stock Civic on the lift and another K on the floor with a hole in the block. And well, plan is...
So Civic engine is coming out of the Civic. Fortunately, Civic will be no more. It's going in the cabriolet with the turbo setup that we've got rigged up on the spare engine. And then the 16 valve HDI is coming out of the cabriolet and going in the estate. And then the DW8 is going in the bin.
Unless somebody wants this.
This 75,000 mile fresh cam belt, fresh water pump. Absolutely bulletproof DW8. That is unfortunately going to meet its maker.
So I think the task today...
So day one, engine out of the circuit, drop the whole subframe with it all together.
I think the idea, we want to keep as much as we can out of this car, because obviously this has everything we need essentially to make the engine run. It's going to be staying for a minute on the original management, we think, don't we?
Well, K-Pro.
Well, yeah, sorry, but factory ECU. So we're just going to rip everything out of here, well Sam's going to, and that will start this mega process.
And tomorrow we'll rip the engine out of this, put it on a pallet for another day, tidy the bay up a little bit and start taking some measurements and look at how we're going to do engine mounts, gearbox mount.
Luckily, got a donor engine so we can do all the mocking up with that engine without having to mess around with the good one. So clearly some issues are occurring, but we have had rocker cover off and the engine actually looks quite clean inside, so it'll be a good parts donor and hopefully a spare transmission and just lots of odds and ends, which are always the bits that get you on these kinds of projects. You end up spending a fortune on little brackets and nuts and bolts. So I think this is the last time all three will have engines in them. And then
oh no, the engine's stayed in this, but we're going to go home.
That one is, for a minute. This is the running vehicle, but eventually, obviously, that will end up in there. Well, I've been away for the day on silage and I've come back to a torn down Civic and another K on a pallet. So we're just pulling the gearbox off this. This is the good engine, so we can put the engine on stand and start taking things apart. Right, well, as you can see, the last 2 days have been quite successful. We got the engine out the Honda and we got the engine out the cabby. So we got the 16 valve HDI on the floor. That's ready to go in the estate. I think Sam's going to take that home with him and clean it all up a bit, fix some of the little gremlins and stuff, and then put it in the estate. Should pretty much bolt in, move the wiring harness across, use part of the old exhaust. And we got the donor K on the pallet here. We're going to use this one for mocking everything up, and I'll probably drop this one in originally, make all the mounts up to this one, and then we'll build this one, which is the one out the Civic. This will be the actual engine that ends up in the car. So at the minute we've got a lot of cars with not very many engines in them, but yeah.